Are you wondering what the best method is for farming those Lazurite jewels to make all those shiny decos for your builds? Well, I've got the solution for you. Just when we thought Apexes were useless, well, they turn out to be the best source of Lazurite, guaranteeing around 3 to even as much as 6+ per hunt, whereas Elders, or something like Basil, cannot even give you a single Lazurite sometimes. So naturally, the next question is, how to farm them the fastest? And well, I'm not sure it's the fastest method, but it's darn right the easiest, and it heckin' makes things easier for your teammates as well. Yes, just like Nara Farm, get ready to turn your brains off to lock the monsters down almost indefinitely and kill either Apex Arzuros or Apex Rathian in under 6 minutes or less with LBG. Pretty much any efficient farming video or team is going to be all gunners now, with the only downside being that you get arthritis since to pew pew, you gotta tap R2 and can't hold it because Capcom dumb. Trading banana fingers for lots of Lazurite? Hey, I'll take it. So, let's just dive right in. This is nothing new, it is Sticky Magna LBG build. But just like my 2.0 longsword video, I went to the turtle, and this time the turtle DPS will translate near 1-to-1 with an actual hunt. So, I optimized the build to have the best DPS for the charm at hand. So the game plan is to spam Sticky 3 to KO the monster, and then switch to slicing spam, and you go back and forth till monster dead. Or if you run out of slicing, switch to spread 3 to shotgun the mon's whittle face to mush. For Arzuros in particular, I suggest when he's enraged to use spread 3 against his arms to preserve some slicing, as when he's enraged, his arms have a higher hit zone for spread to deal weak spot damage, but when not enraged, it'll make spread 3 useless. Even then, each run you will essentially run out of slicing unless you have super RNG with spare shot, hence my recommendation to throw in spread 3 occasionally to prolong that slicing as much as possible. Now, before we get into the build, I do have to cover ammo and foods to eat. This build will eat through your ammo, so you have to upkeep your crafting berries to maintain the build. Go to your Argosy and it should look like this. Request either 2 slicing with blast nuts or 2 blasts with 1 slicing. From there, you make a gunner item loadout if you don't have one, which you'll add Sticky 1, Sticky 3, slicing ammo, tranks if you want to use the build elsewhere, which it is pretty much usable for any monster including Elders, and then top row should be blast nut to craft Sticky 1s, gunpowder level 3 to combine with Sticky 1s to make Sticky 3s, and finally slash berries to craft slicing ammo, with spread 3 as an extra. Remember not to use Sticky 1s to shoot, but rather strictly to craft level 3s. So register that loadout alongside your buffs and maybe healing items, and you're Gucci. The next step is setting up a Radial. If you watch my Narva video, it is the same process. Radial menu settings, quest, pick an empty spot, and then choose crafting on the list and select Sticky 1, Sticky 3, and slicing. On each of them, I recommend just saying all to the amount you want to craft, which crafts the full amount you can carry for the ammo in one go, rather than individually reloading one at a time. However, crafting Sticky 3 makes 2 at a time, so if you want to preserve ammo, only craft on odd numbers, so 1, 3, 5, or 7, lest you're gonna waste 1 ammo per craft on auto all. It's not a big deal, but hey, for the penny pinchers out there you go. Pressing ZL in the menu allows you to customize which of the 4 slots you want to assign that shortcut to. Do that and you're now ready to rock. The only thing left is food. Bombardier is still a bug, thanks Capcom, and temper doesn't affect sticky or slicing. So the best setup to eat for food is Booster, Slugger for more KOs, and well, the third is your choice. As far as which target is best, I'm not sure if there's a difference in the amount of Lazurite gained, but it doesn't seem so. Arzuros is technically easier with less health, but because he's smaller and wiggles when he's KO'd, it's harder to hit his head. Rathian is easier to hit the face, but has a pretty good chance of hitting you and it hurting for a lot due to the poison. But I got a sub 5 on both, so I guess pick your poison. Rathian's parts will probably be worth more melting points, so perhaps consider that. Mizu can probably be stun locked the same way, but he's by far the most dangerous monster currently in the game, so perhaps in a group setting it's worth to farm Mizu more, but solo, unless you're good with LBG, I'd stick to the others. Now the only thing left you need is the build. Unfortunately, the purpose of the build is to get Lazurite, right? But the build cannot be functionally best without spending some to get the decos for the build. It'll require 20 Lazurites, But if you sacrifice some damage, lose about a minute or so clear time, then you can still make the build work till you gradually get enough. So, build start. Build uses Magna's LBG because it's got a plethora of ammo types and the coveted Sticky 3 plus Slicing ammo combo. For ramp up, choose Attack 3, and for modification, go for the Silencer, which you can edit from your stash and village. Now, I did test multiple setups, excluding Spare Shot from the factor to have a stable comparison. With attack level 7, no Wex, damage capped out at 294 with no food buffs, cap buffs, or item buffs because you have 0% crit. So you basically always get that number. The test was 5 stickies and 3 slicings in a row as a DPS test. So it was in Sticky's favor as far as damage. Yet, flash forward to the best setup I figured out, and you got above 3k, even sometimes hitting 3.1k with good crit RNG with the same factors. 5 sticky, 3 slicing, going for a critical build instead. Also tested both builds against Rathian, and my Wex 1 did better than attack level 7 by a good 30ish seconds. The Wex 2 does lose a slugger, but the difference wasn't major. 2 stickies at the start will usually KO the monster still, and from there is a difference of 1 or a couple more stickies as the fight goes on, versus slugger 3. Since stickies don't crit, we treat it like Charge Blaze files, stacking attack 5 and artillery 3. Max ammo up allows for 2 stickies and slicing, so it's a must have. Spare Shot gives a 20% chance not to consume ammo, so remember the point where I said you will run out of ammo? Well, this makes it not run out as fast. Sometimes this can even proc a bunch of times in a row, effectively being a huge DPS boost. And then of course Wex 3 to make slicing crit. That's a 50% chance to crit weak spots, which is basically always the head, and you can add Rousing Roarcat and Power Drum Palicles for more damage. Aside from that, Slugger helps with KOs, cause Sticky's KOs, it's by far the best KO in the game for some reason, for Hammer Bros. And lastly, Recoil Down, which improves shooting speed and reload speed to reload as fast as possible to keep the deeps going. And yeah, that is the build. Now this isn't min-max, as it's a plain Wex 2 level 2 slot charm. Obviously having attack or slugger in addition to the Wex, or a Wex 2 220 slot charm, or a Spare Shot 220 slot charm, you can improve the build. But essentially the upgrades are maxing attack if you can. Otherwise, these other charms will make the build work as is. And yeah, that's it. Hopefully the build helps in farming these guys more easier. Even with randoms, I got like a 6ish minute kill for Azuros, mostly because the 2 other guys were gunners. Although they only span slicing instead of sticky and slicing. Both is better for stun locking the monster and wasting less time dodging. A perfect gunner team would feature 3 DPS and 1 status user, with a status user likely using Camilleo's LBG to KO, para, sleep, and repeat till the monster's dead in like 2 to 3 minutes. Even elders like Kushala are getting slapped around fast with LBG. So join the army and turn Monster Hunter into Monster Shooter.
In America.
But that's it from me. The moral of the video is, farm apexes for Lazurite. Simple as that. If you like weep sticks, go check out my 2.0 updated longsword video. And thanks for everyone watching, by the way. Getting like 50k views in the first day was insane, so I very much appreciate it. It feels good to be lucky sometimes. Of course, there's still more builds to come, so put your stickies all over that like button and subscribe and hit the noti for more Rise epicness.
Excellent work, my fellow Americans.